Alright, this is going to be a requested video about the things that I put in my tank. As you can see, I'm not very high-tech, and just the basic simple stuff I find and I try and I think will work. So far, so good. No complaints. Here's the food. I have the colored for the tropical fish right here to get some color. Says it has natural color enhancers. These right here are for the bottom feeders, the shrimps, like algae pellets or wafers. I put about 5 or 6 in there every 2 days, and they eat on that. This is basically the same thing as this, but just a Japanese brand, I guess. Still made by Tetra, but Japanese. This right here isn't food, it's just my water. Running chemical. This is my water skimmer bucket thingy. This is what I put on the bottom when I started the tank, the iron bottoms. I didn't have clay at the time, but now I have clay, but I still have some. So whenever I can, whenever I start a tank or something, or every couple months, I stick one down in the substrate. This right here is Bacteria 100. All the directions are in Japanese, but I went to the website. It's supposed to have good bacteria in here for starting. It's like powder. It's like powder form. You just put on the bottom of the glass, put a substrate on top, sprinkle something in there. Get the tank started with some good bacteria. Turn nitrates to nitrites and stuff like that. This right here is my fluoride from Tetra plant. I'm thinking that it's a branch off company of Tetra, and this Tetra plant this company is everywhere in Japan. But I put for a 20-gallon 2 capfuls of it every day when I'm cutting a light or around lunchtime. When I come in from work, I would throw some in there, and this has the macro and micronutrients, I believe. I can't really read the back to say what it has in there, but I'm pretty sure it's been working. The plants like it. This right here is what I talked about in the other video for temporary potassium for my hygrofolias. They were dying. This has potassium and iron in it, and the bottle's about halfway done now. Put about 5 pumps in there every day in this tank and the small tank right here, which has more hygrofolia. So it has iron and potassium. So if you have plants that need iron and potassium, you can try this, or you can get the green brightly K, which is just potassium. But I don't really need that. Right here is Nutrifin Plant Grow. This came with what did this come with? It came with this right here, the CO2 thing. Has micronutrients in here. It's a small bottle. I don't really know how it works. I haven't really been using it that much. But since it has micronutrients, I'm guessing it's good. It should be good. Because it has something less common that listed on the back, like boron and magnesium. Stuff like that people rarely know about. That is probably not in this guy right here. So I put like half in there, or I don't have that much, so I try to spread it out. This right here is the Flourish Potassium that I use for the hygrofolia, since they love potassium so much. And I will say that since I used it, I haven't seen any more pinholes developing in leaves. They actually been doing pretty good. Can't tell now because the lights are off, but they've been doing pretty good. So they're growing and roots are shooting out. Roots are shooting out in here, as you can see. Since I've been putting it in, kind of don't like it, but we'll find a way to deal with that later. So this is good for any potassium absorbing plants. Plants that love potassium. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see right there the 005, which is 0 nitrates, 0 phosphates, and 5% potassium. So, which is also on the back, but it tells you somewhere. right here, 5%. So if you see that, it'll tell you what fertilizers and chemicals are in a fertilizer. That 5% right there is represented in this 005. So this right here is Flourish XL. It's a organic carbon form for plants to absorb. It's supposed to help plants absorb it easier, but if you don't have adequate CO2 going into the tank, it's not a complete replacement for CO2, the gas that people put in the tanks, but I use it along with my CO2 system here, the do-it-yourself system, since it's not always reliable. Sometimes the bubble rate is off, so I add that in there. 2 capfuls is enough for 20, probably 1 is enough for that tank. Get a plant's a little CO2 action, carbon action. I don't know how long it lasts in the tank with the water running. I read it's a couple hours, but I haven't seen anything bad or anything that will say otherwise. And this right here is just some fertilizer I found here in Japan. Don't know what it does, don't know what's in it, don't know the benefits, but I might speculate, since it has a red plant on there, that it's iron based, that it has iron. I don't see any periodic symbol on the back for it or anything. Everything's in Japanese. So, and this is like a powder form or something. You gotta like shake it up. Turns the water a little cloudy, but it kind of settles fast. And this is the API Stress Coat Water Conditioner. I don't use it all the time unless I'm using a big water change, and I will use that. And I added the new fish in from the other video. I added that in. I didn't know if it was stressful or not. I didn't know what was going on. So I just want to get in some electrolytes. They might allow us reduce the ammonia that probably built up in the bag from the poop, since those been in the bag for about an hour from the store. So I had other things to do. So I used that. That's basically it. I don't really have much. I'm not very complicated with the stuff. I just get what I think I need, research, and experiment. I'll probably try some more stuff from the Flourish over here, maybe some other chemicals. But my favorite would probably be these 3, the XL, potassium, and this for iron. Jungle Valves, love the iron, and the Hygrofolia, love the potassium. So that's about it. That's all I really have. I don't really put anything else in my tank. Just do water changes every week, every 7 days, or whenever I think it's needed. When I do a water change, I'll probably add more fertilizers in there to replace what was lost in the water. Probably double dose it, and after that just go by the regular amount recommended on the bottle. So, and also remember, when you're putting stuff in, you don't always have to go by what the bottle says. And it says like 1 cap for 10 gallons, because the bottom of the substrate takes up probably 2 gallons of substrate in the bottom, 2-3 gallons. So when you're dosing, probably subtract a couple gallons for the substrate, and you want to subtract for the mass in there that's taking up the space in the water. Like this big piece of driftwood, that's probably taking up a lot of space that water could be. So it's not always like a cap full for a gallon or something like that. So keep that in mind when doing it. That way, if you're afraid of overdoing it or hurting fish, which probably won't hurt the fish, the plants will probably absorb it, but if you're conscious, that's just a thought that your fish tank never actually holds the exact gallons that is rated for, because of the matter in there displacing the space. So that's really all I have to say about the stuff that I put in my tank. So please rate, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.